Okay, so today's episode is going to be in English for our English audience because a few people on the first episode told me why we're doing in Hebrew and not in English because our audience is mainly not from Israel, it's from the out of states. So I think the last episode was quite a good episode that we did. We're going to improve over time. If you haven't listened on it, for us it's been like a week. For you, you can just press the back button or you just came from our first episode. I think the first guy was giving us an edge on what we're going to do today and where we're going to improve, right? Or
I hope so.
speak to the camera.
I hope so. Yes, right now we are on our second episode and we are very excited and welcome to have Alon with us.
Pleasure.
So I think let's know Alon.
Yeah. So, Alon, nice to have you here with us.
Thank you.
It's a great opportunity to give our speakers something to listen, to laugh about, and be a little bit more serious. And before we start with all of that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Where should I start?
From everywhere. The first one started from the army. If you want to start before the army, it's also good.
So to beat him, I will start from high school. Studied physics and theater.
Wow.
Yeah. And when everyone asks me, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what's that combination?
What up? So I was like, theater and physics are more resemble than everyone thinks because both of them are trying to explain how the world works. So basically, that's my idea.
That's your background.
Yeah, and until today, this is basically what I'm trying to do with my life, which is like combining between the human part and the realistic part. So yeah, I write some songs, even have one song in the radio.
Really?
Yeah, I do. You didn't know that about me.
I didn't know. I'm doing, just to let you know how we know Alon here, I'm doing as part of the MBA program, we have to do a practicum where you go and work for free, about 100 hours total for a company of their choosing. And I got lucky and I got DriveTLV, where Alon going to explain it a little bit more on how you can maybe get an internship or even get an interview over there and bring your startup to there and how to expand your journey. Continue, Alon. Just a little bit of a background.
Yeah, and it's awesome to have you with us. So yeah, in the army, I was part of the intelligence unit, 8200. I heard that also the other guys, so. And I was in a small unit inside 8200, which is the combat unit of 8200. So basically taking geek stuff and doing it from a bush.
Wow.
Basically, that's the concept. After I've been in the army for 5 years as an officer, and then I started a small business during COVID. We connected local farmers during the lockdowns. We connected local farmers with end customers. It went very well. We gave service for 8 cities in Israel, over 1 million shekel of revenue. After 1 year, give or take, we sold the business and started studying, each one of us, me and my partner. I studied here, where we are recording, in Reichman University. Studied in the economic school and the entrepreneurship school for 3 years. And during my first year, I started working in DriveTLV as an analyst. Just a word about Drive. So Drive is an innovation hub that connects startups in the smart and sustainable mobility domains to the largest corporates in the world in those domains. They are our partners. So we're talking about companies like Volvo Cars, Volvo Group, Honda, John Deere, NXP, Avens, Hertz. If you don't know any of these names, so I will gladly tell more about them. But basically, each one of them is enormous corporate in these domains, and they are trying to get competitive edge on their markets by collaborating with cutting-edge technologies and startups. We also have a sister VC managed by the same founders and founded by the same founders. And basically, Drive also serves as a de-risking mechanism to the startups for the fund. So the fund is like kind of hovering above this entire operation and cherry picks the best startups every year to invest. And you can testify on your own.
How much is the check price?
So the check size is between 100K to let's call it over $1 million a bit, but it varies. We work with. Okay, so we have a theory that the risk taking in VCs is not as it should be, and we take actual risks. But to do that, we de-risk the startup using the drive mechanism. So we work with founders, even like in the earliest stages. We take founders from the universities, like professors, PhDs, that has actual cutting edge innovation in small scale, in lab scale, and we help them scale. But we also work with like already founded startups, pre-seed, seed, so on. And we also work with other sizes of companies for our partners, but not for the fund. So that's basically us. After 1 year at Drive, I got to lead the deal flow team, which is basically responsible for scouting, meaning finding the startups and also screening them for each one of our 15 partners and for the fund.
It's like a due diligence.
It's like an initial due diligence where you basically learn very deeply and very intimately each and every partner. You understand their domains of interest, their strategic objectives. From that, you derive which startups will they be interested in. Then you scout the startups and you start a small, short process of due diligence, kind of. If a startup is positioned in a place where they can benefit the strategic objectives of a corporate, then you're trying to make the connection, but you also work with the startup to help them shape this positioning in a way that will actually benefit the partner. So that's basically the idea. We scout, we interview roughly about 300 startups a year.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I think before we dive in a little bit more, you said your first startup, you had over 1 million shekels in revenue.
Yeah.
I think the biggest question I'm thinking to myself, maybe also Amiti thinking, why did you sell? What was the breaking point where you told, I don't believe that it can grow much further and I have to sell at this point?
So I wouldn't call it a startup. It was a small business. And it was eventually fruits and vegetables. So fruits and vegetables are a commodity, the most commoditized commodity ever. And therefore the margins are very low because the competition is very high and you cannot raise the margins enough. And the only way to profit well in this business is to scale, extremely scale. And I don't want to tell you with how much we ended like after having this kind of revenue, like not a lot.
No.
Eventually, we got to a point where we understood that this is the time to choose. Either we scale, and that's like a huge investment and commitment and time and energy, which is awesome, but that's a choice. Or we sell, and for this kind of company, eventually you sell assets, IP, whatever, operation. And in that kind of company, you don't have actual IP. All you have is a list of customers and an operation. And so it's a sell, but it's not like it's not like an exit or something.
I can understand. My question is if you already choose to make your own way, why did you choose to join DriveTLV and not to make another company, another business, something by your own? Why to work under a company?
So founding the business was amazing. If I'm accurate, a friend of mine founded the business when I was still in the army. When I got out of the army, I told him like, listen, I want to help you and like open another branch in a different city that I will own, and I will pay you some royalties. He was glad, I was glad, and we did that. At one point, he and his partner wanted to finish or end that, and we wanted to expand. So we bought their part of the business, and after a year we sold it. So basically we founded something small, we expanded, and we sold, and it was an amazing journey to do that all in a year. However, it's not, as I said, it's not a startup, it's not high tech, it's not, there is no IP, and I felt like I'm still very unexperienced, young, and ignorant about how it actually works in tech startups. Because, as I said, like the way I define a startup, at least, is that you are doing something that you have no model to look and like to learn from. So if you start like a pizza place, for example, it's very easy. You can go to the bank. You don't need to go to a VC. You know how much the raw materials cost, how much the place cost, how much you're going to sell each slice, and you can make the calculations, come to the bank and show here, this is what I take, this is what I give back. In a startup, the knowledge is not there.
Yeah, zero estimation.
Yeah, exactly. I think we talked about that you interview over 300 startups each year, correct?
Correct.
So my question is, it's both going to be what a fuck moment, and also what's the funniest moment of you talking to a startup? Like for me, once happened, I came, I think I spoke with you. I came in front of a Zoom call with an investor, and automatically when the Zoom started, I started playing my pitch. After the pitch ended, he told me, do you know anything about me or anything about my venture? And then I knew I'm done with that, and I never heard from him again. And that's a thing that you have to learn on yourself. So is there anything that some of our listeners can learn not to do whilst they're talking to investors or talking to you, or something that you experience? Up to you to share with us.
Yeah. I will have to think about it for a moment, but I do have I do have like a
Fuck
think-
moment.
It's not exactly what a fuck moment. It's more of like what the fuck culture.
What do you
so
mean by that?
we work with startups from all over the world, mostly Israel and Europe, but all over the world. And European startups, it's so funny. They are either the best you've seen, but in very low percentage, or like extremely shit. Like extremely. Like the number of startups for, I don't know, micro-mobility and scooters that I've seen is like insane. And I just don't understand how can you like, how can you even think that like, and you show the competition, right? When you make a pitch, you show the competition.
Of course,
And like
yeah.
myself, I've seen like 50 of these, like exactly what you're doing, like 50. And you're saying like, I don't have any competition because we're doing something new. So like, that's like super weird. Their definition for a startup is very different than ours. Also, like so many startups are doing stuff that are related to regulations. So like, how do I handle with regulations? And I find it funny because regulation in nature is the opposite from innovation. And like,
Yeah, you want to create something new, but they're stopping you from creating something new.
Okay, I
Yeah.
can understand it.
no, it's okay. Like, okay, let's put some guardrails so the innovation won't be, I don't know, too crazy. But if you are starting a startup, we should be innovative to handle a regulation that stops innovation from, anyway, you get the point. So it's kind of a different culture. I think that in Israel, the average startup is so much higher. But that's one's mental
You mean
opinion,
where
so.
you begin the startups, or
No, like even your perception of what is startup.
I think it's the culture in Israel itself. The culture in Israel, it's a startup nation.
Yeah.
Compared to someone in the EU, it's just another startup.
Yeah, I will say, however, that like what I'm saying right now, it's like an anecdote. So we've seen that if you go to the right places in Europe, to the right talent pools, for example, as I said before, like we talked about it outside, but like for example in Paris, you have a huge amount of talent when it comes to AI. You see a lot of like universities that are creating real innovation. If, I don't know, for example, Imperial, and many more. So like what I just said, it is like an anecdote, but eventually, obviously, Europe, like you can't frame Europe as one thing, right? So like we are, as we progress, we see more and more startups that just, what I'm trying to say is like, it's like it's more of like finding a diamond in the ground. You know, you have to search harder. For me as a scouter, you have to search harder.
You want to ask a question?
I'm trying to understand if you ever have any interview or any meeting that you remember as something that catch you not ready, catch you, as Kfir said, in a fuck moment that you understand that you lost the way in the meeting, you lost the meeting, you lost the
founding
You
team.
lost the founding
you
team,
don't
yeah.
want to do business with them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
No
No,
names.
because-
No names. No startups.
no names for sure, because
Yeah.
when you start the meeting, you have an intuition.
Yeah. Intuition is risky, but you do have an intuition.
Very risky. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have any story to tell us?
Try to choose the best.
He sees over
So-
300
A
each year.
The brain got
Yeah.
started to move.
He's starting to think.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, startups are looking for money, right? They
Everyone. Yeah.
everyone. That's true. But like,
Let's be honest.
but like, a startup that raises money cares about nothing else, and it's fair enough, and I get it. And we are, as I told you, both a VC and an innovation hub. We have both. A lot of times, startups come to us, and we explain, listen, we at Next Gear Ventures, which is our fund, we have a bug. I'm like doing in quotes to everyone who's not just watching. But
yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah,
Who is listening on our podcast through Spotify?
I want to get the picture. We have it.
Yeah.
The profile
We'll
picture
put
of
it
the
in-
episode will be
Put
me
it down
doing
in
like
the below.
Exactly.
We'll do a meme under.
So yeah, we have a kind of a bug. We take our time, but we don't. It's not really a bug, right? It's a feature, because the reason is because at early stage we work with people, not with startups, and it takes time to get to know a person because intuition is risky, right? Also, like, it's a two-way street. It takes time for them to get to know us, right? We want them to see the value in what we're doing, and it takes time. So when a startup comes to me and say like, yeah, what you're saying about Drive is nice, but I don't care about anything right now if it's not raising funds. So I had a lot of those moments where, like, in that point, because I get them and I have a lot of empathy for that place, so the first thing I say is like, okay, that's completely fair enough. We can definitely try to help you and connect you with other VCs and so on. But with us, this is how we work. Like, we start with the drive process, and there are some startups that like take it very personally. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know why it's hard. I get it. But like, take it very personally that like, why would you even have a fund if you don't invest right away? Right, you get what I'm saying?
It makes sense.
It makes sense. Yeah, but it depends if you go straight to the next gear venture, or they're coming to you because you're a different person than the next gear ventures.
That's true, even though Drive is the gate for every startup that goes to NGV.
Yeah.
So basically, like, and I explained that. I try to explain it. I try to do my best and explain it. But I did have a lot of moments where startups were like kind of angry with me for our model.
Really?
For example, not a lot of moments, but like sometimes, like, listen, it's okay. So let's just talk with someone from the fund, and I'm trying to explain that, like, I'm the person that you should be talking to. That's okay. Like, and no worries. I mean, if this model doesn't fit you, fair enough.
Is it an automatic no? Or was there someone who told you that and then later on got accepted to the DriveTLV?
So basically, the way we try to work is that we most of the time don't require anyone to get accepted to anything. Meaning, we try to help all startups. The idea, it's not philanthropic. The idea behind it is that we build an ecosystem.
Yeah, of course.
That's the idea. And eventually, down the line, where we are in a relationship with startups, we do offer a very small amount of them to actually like join a program and so on. But that's like just down the line. I will not block any startup from connecting to Volvo, for example, because I don't know, because any reason, except if they're not good enough. And Um, so a lot of most of the startups, when they see the value, they understand.
They take it. They
Yeah,
take
most
the
of the
chance.
startups. But I did have more than once that like founders that have 0 employees act as if they are managing a 100,000 people operation,
Real.
like in terms of like their availability, attitude, and so on. You can also appreciate that. I mean,
Yeah, they got the confidence.
Yeah.
I wish I had the confidence to come up to
I
an
got it.
investor
I
and
got
tell
it.
him, no, it doesn't fit me if you don't move me to your next person down the line.
It depends.
Yeah, you would tell the people. Let's say you have an investor you want to talk to, and you get the analyst from his team and not the LP or someone who is in charge of the funds. Do you ask to swap a person to speak only to the person who is in charge of the fund, or do you want to speak to the analyst and maybe get something out of it?
In my opinion, it depends. You need to feel the situation, to be in the meeting, to understand, to have your own intuition. I don't know. I'm working a lot with intuition
yeah, I would say
in
that
my world. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think that for me, at least, the thing that I learned that is the most important thing is, and that's the reason why you shouldn't skip the analyst,
Yeah.
is that it's not customer service of like of your mobile provider. It's not like give me your manager or I leave. It's not the situation. The situation is a relationship situation. That's always like the word that I keep coming back to, because I cannot stress enough how much this is the most important thing at early stage startups. Like when you are a big startup and you have the numbers and you have the metrics to show and the KPIs and so on, okay, you can be like a douchebag and you still get money, still get investment. But at an early stage, it's all about the relationship. It's all about the trust, because you know nothing about your startup. We know nothing about your startup. And if you're smart, then you know that both you and us don't know nothing about your startup.
Yeah.
So it's only about like relationships and people. And if you like go over the analyst's head and go directly to his boss, he might like you, like your idea, but when he hears that you treated like shit to his employee, he will say like, is that the person that I want to work with?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly. That's why I'm always, to each person that I'm talking to, I want to be the nicest guy that I want to be, because I think the most important thing is in startup world especially, but in life generally, is be a human. Be a human. Talk to everyone. Get their opinion. Maybe that analyst is someone who's been in your field before and is not a newbie like everybody thinks, and he can help you get to the next level, or can tell you, oh, I have this client that maybe you should talk to him. I had a few of the people that I talked to, a few VCs or a few angels, that he told me maybe not today, but I can connect you to a new client, to a new pilot, to something
Exactly.
else.
And I've done that personally many times, like connected startups to VCs, to hubs, to even corporates that just are not part of maybe our network.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're awesome, I will want to help you.
Yeah.
Like for sure.
Exactly. I think there is also a thing with I forgot what I wanted to say.
It's
It
good.
just escaped my mind. What is it called? Ask a question and I'll think about it. I just
No, I think at the key point, the two things that you said, to be a human and to create a relationship, because those two things can help you. Even you are not enough good, you're not having the enough. Even if you don't understand exactly your potential, and you can create with the person with you, if you have the right relationship to understand what is the potential, who the POC that can help you, that can support you. Maybe you need to change your attitude, or to change your idea. So I think it's two key points for someone to want to build and create a new startup, new business, to create everything in life.
I completely agree. I mean, it is like, to be fully transparent, you also need to be good at what you do, right? Like, honestly, it's not just to be a nice person.
yeah, exactly.
But
No,
it
yeah,
definitely
sure.
helps.
Definitely helps
Definitely helps.
in the long run. So I got a question for you that I remember just now. So we're in the era of AI. Even though it's been here for decades, the word AI is something that everybody wants, everybody needs it. So from you speaking to new startups, is there anything in the AI era that come up 2 or 3 times, or a meeting after meeting that they offer the same startups? Is it ever happened to you?
Yeah, today every startup that you meet is like, yeah, like doing AI.
Yeah.
Like saying that they're doing AI. So I think that what happens now is that, in physics, there is a term that is like signal to noise ratio, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So like the signal to noise ratio in the AI landscape is now extremely like difficult to it's
To measure.
extremely difficult to differentiate between the signal and the noise, because the noise is so high right now. So to your question, like yeah, like in every startup that I meet, like we're doing AI based. Everything is AI based.
Are you tired of the word AI?
So now we
Sounds
have a
like.
new word. Now we have a new word,
Which one it is?
which is like agentic
Oh,
AI.
Generative. AI.
Generative is so 2023,
2020.
man.
Now you
come
have
on.
MCP servers.
Exactly.
We just need to wait more.
Exactly. So yeah, no, I think that like it's actually good. I think that like 2 years ago, everyone said AI, AI, AI,
Ay, 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 ay.
AI, AI, AI.
Completely AI.
But right now, I mean, the bright side of the fact that it is so like it's even more than like a hype cycle, right? It's just like a new reality. It's like if someone will approach you tomorrow and say, "Listen, I have in my startup, I have a website," you will be like, I mean, like if you don't have a website, you're in a problem, right?
Yeah.
You have a problem.
Today
So now it's
everybody
the same.
have
So
a
basically,
website.
that's like the analogy. So like the fact that it became so widely adopted, it might have like a good impact on reducing the importance that you as a founder or a startup like give to the word AI in your startup,
Yeah.
right? You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. So to continue the question, from the companies that you came into the Drive and came into Next Gear Ventures, was there, before the period of AI and all those explosion of the word AI, was there any company that closed because of that?
Because of
The AI and the advancements of the startups that are now popping up. Was there any companies of your portfolio that actually it's like in a matter of months, it's like what the fuck, they're ahead of us and we had to close the company?
I don't have an example from our portfolio, thanks God. I obviously, without mentioning any names, but I do have like at least 3 startups in mind right now that built like kind of things that today can be done through the foundational models, or will be able to like they will be able to do that in the next 12 to 24 months, like
Wow.
presumably.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, don't build a ChatGPT wrapper.
Yeah, that's a lot of startups are actually doing today. Taking ChatGPT, taking
what,
it
asking for-
apart, and only putting what they need.
Honestly, I think that like you need to differentiate between like a ChatGPT wrapper and like heavy usage of ChatGPT or like any other model. I think it's not the same. So like if you have a niche domain where you have like your actual expertise, where the know-how is very significant, and you just use the models as a way to make sense out of the output. So that's like completely different than like making a ChatGPT wrapper.
Yeah, of
Completely
course.
different.
Yeah.
So yeah,
What is the insane idea that you have ever heard from a startup?
so many.
So
So
many.
many.
Try to think about it
The
too.
thing is that if I'll share it, I mean, because they're crazy ideas, to the good or to the worse, so like it will be very obvious who I'm talking about.
Very obvious.
Yeah, like with one search you will be able to find it.
I understand.
Maybe tell for the good. It's like open commercial. You know, we got a lot of listeners to our show.
No, for sure. You heard you say you heard that you interviewed for 300 companies in a year.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
probably heard a lot of insane ideas for good and also for the bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
I will
but
share one. It was like 3 years ago. I mean, it is insane. I really wonder where are they right now. But basically, they had like a flying car, a flying
flying
car,
car.
a flying car. that
Working?
Depends who you ask.
AI or
Yeah.
human?
It was before. I think it was even before ChatGPT was publicly launched. Basically, what they did is that they had a regular vehicle that drives in the road, but let's say there is a tree or a log on the road, it can raise vertically, switch like the chassis or like the entire external part of the vehicle 90 degrees vertically, and then it looks like kind of like you're in a one seat kind of like eVTOL or something like that.
That's amazing.
Like a movie.
It sounds amazing. and in that moment I was like, whoa. Or I heard an amazing lie, or I
They have the next $1 billion idea.
exactly. And it was at the very beginning of my like time at Drive, and I was so excited because I was like, I mean, obviously it might be a lie, but let's check.
Yeah.
Like, let's try. And then like my boss told me like,
Hell no.
I don't know.
wait a second. Let's wait for a second and see.
You continue talking to them after?
I mean, we exchanged a couple of emails, but nothing really happened. And actually, that's the thing. Like, we have our own guardrails, which is our partners. So, like, our way to make sure that we do not do stupid stuff is to stay aligned with the market itself. It's also for the benefit of the startup. Like, if you're building something in the mobility market and the actual market, the corporates, the Volvos of the world, the NXPs of the world, the Hertzes of the world are not interested in what you're building, and they are your customers or your potential customers. So you're building either something amazing that they will regret for the rest of their lives for not taking, or something wrong. And like, divide odds yourself. Like, I don't know.
For you, what gets point while they're showing the slides or showing their deck? What gives you a tick every time they're doing something correctly?
That's a great question. That's a great... maybe I should make like a
tick.
lessons learned.
Lesson learned.
Lessons learned slide.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I think that the slide that is the most difficult for startups is the competitive landscape one. To make it really good, it's really hard. Everyone uses this stupid 2-axis.
Oh yeah, I know. I don't use it because it's overused, so I've tried to do something else.
No, but like for me at least, you chose the axis.
Yeah.
Like, obviously you will be... Did you ever see a startup that put himself in the left bottom corner?
No,
No.
not at all.
Obviously, they chose the axis. I mean, also, I'm not a big fan of like the Venn diagram.
Oh, I'm out.
No, I mean, I think at least that a real competitive landscape is, first of all, like a competitor is everyone that is providing even a part of your value, or potentially will provide a part of your value.
Yeah.
That's like your competition works. They don't like, you think that you're the only one who like works 24/7. No, they do the same. Like, have you ever changed your mind about the direction of your startup? So are they.
A lot of times. Lots
So-
of pivots.
Exactly. So when I hear like, this is in a good case, this is like 3 startups that are doing something similar, but they like are not doing that. Okay, but they might. Like, I mean, you should explain exactly like what is the differentiation, what is exactly your moat, and if you don't know, that's okay. But like saying that I do not have competition, or like the competition is
Quite far away.
I don't like that. For me, it takes off a point.
Do you look at the founder's background more, or you care less about their background and more on
Depends.
what they're doing today?
Obviously, if you're building something in batteries and you are a PhD in chemistry and your PhD was about like battery cells, so yeah, I mean it's relevant. But I try not to do the opposite. Like, if you have the right background for what you are building, that's awesome. But I try not to eliminate someone that doesn't have the background just because they didn't go to a fancy school or like don't have a PhD.
Yeah.
But then like you have the burden of the proof is higher. I mean,
Of course. Yeah.
and that's fair. Like
What's the youngest one you ever interviewed? The youngest person ever?
19.
19?
19. And he was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was incredible.
was
I
by his
couldn't
own?
help him because it was like very far away from our core activities. But I told him, listen, if you ever do start something in our core activities, reach out. You're awesome.
Yeah. Wow. Was he alone or with another?
Co-founder.
I think with his dad, maybe like something like that.
Yeah.
But he was like
He lead.
the brain behind
Yeah.
it.
That's amazing. At
Amazing.
19.
It was incredible. He actually did something pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Something in defense where like he tried to save lives. It was nice with real tech, like
Wow.
with real materials tech.
I think the most fascinating thing about your job is to listen to all the startups that are happening today in the market.
Yeah.
Something in the private equity sector, something that amazes me because there is a lot of problems. Even now, I think we're going to talk about it in the future episode, but with the AI era, maybe they closed the chapter behind, but a new chapter is coming where there's going to be a lot of problem caused by AI, especially in all the automotive field. There was a problem. There was actually a car crash here in Israel. If you know about it, a few years ago, that a Tesla got mistake with one of his sensors, and just while driving, it went to the side and it crashed. So I know someone that did a deep, deep tech company that fixes those sensors for Immobileye. Something that is because of a problem. Another guy started a new company because of it.
Yeah. Whenever there is new infrastructure, new wave of applications, you have new wave of problems, a whole new set of problems and whole new set of solutions. Definitely. A major part of our thesis is like AI robustness, AI explainability, and AI reliability is a core layer in the enablement and the success of this revolution. Like, we have a lot of focus on that part, and you can picture it like, I like the analogy of when in ancient times, right, when you picture like a mansion in England 1,000 years ago, I don't know, even more, and someone is sending a scroll from the king, right, with a piece of parchment, and you want to make sure that it is actually from the king. So, like, how do you do that? That's a problem. Like that's a technical problem. And they like came up with something pretty cool, which is like the wax stamp, which is like you put it while it's hot, you stamp it, and if you try to open the scroll, it breaks. Right? So that's like robustness and reliability for making sure that the message is coming from the right person, which is like happened to be in my example the king. But like think about it, like in how can you tell that the command that the robot is now executing came from the right function? How can you tell that? Like, we need mechanisms for that. It's not obvious, and I think it's a huge field that still needs to be addressed. Like, not personally me, but like our thesis, not my idea.
Yeah.
As an analyst dealing with 300 companies in a year. If you were a founder in 2025, what do you suggest to founders in 2025 to do different? What do you do if you were a founder in 2025? You know, whereas the AI is growing very fast, the technology growing very fast, there is more startups. What would you do different?
I think that let's assume that you don't have your idea yet or you're still ideating. I think that there is so much value to be captured in exploding markets right now. And when a market explodes, it's not just like the hype. Like, I mean, sometimes people say, no, it's just the hype. Like, it's risky to go there. And it has truth in it, because like if you started an NFT company a few years ago, right now, I don't know, you might have succeeded, but you probably are baked. But when a market actually explodes and is expected to continue to explode, an ecosystem is built around it. It's not just the funding part. It is also like you are not building in vacuum. You are building in an ecosystem. You have universities that are researching. You have other startups that are creating solutions that you will use them. You have the big tech companies and that are creating platforms. You have the investors that are providing funds. You have hubs like Drive that provide mentorship or advisory or whatever. And when a market is exploding, the entire vector is going that way, and it really helps. So like I think that I cannot stress enough how much it is important to build within an ecosystem. And when a market is growing in a hyper rate, that's a good place to build. Now, it is always tricky because like you're not the only smart guy in the world, right? Like other people will build as well. And that's why there is the other part of the equation, which is like the people. So basically, at least again, the thesis in our fund and hub in Drive and Next Gear is that like the people times the relevancy creates the magic, and that's the way we work. Because as I said before, there is no metric in the world that can predict early stage startup success. So like if you're building in a relevant space and you are a great person, like not only like in your like being nice as we said before, but like being great at what you do, that's good.
Yeah.
So collect the right people and work in the right in exploding market. I think that's like, and I didn't say a word about AI, right? Like because it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, I think the art stays the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, exactly. So we talked about. I think you need to explain a little bit more to our audience what actually drives value. What are you giving to the entrepreneurs that are coming into your program, and how do you help them? And afterwards, you talked about the pilots that you have with your partners. Is it paid partnership, or is it POC work for free for them?
Yeah. So as I said, they say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
So it takes a village to raise a startup. And that's exactly like the ecosystem part. And this is what Drive is. It's an ecosystem that has the funding element, the research element, the mentorship element, the advisory element, and the market element, which is the partners, which is the most important part. So when we are working with the startup and trying to explain, like, listen, you're in a good position, but if you shift 1 degree to the left, you will be in a better position. It's not because we think we're smart. It's because we've spent so much time with his future.
Yeah.
And that's the idea behind it. Also, we don't see only one vertical. We see multiple verticals. So we see the entire value chain. So when Novelis, which is one of our partners, an aluminum manufacturer and recycler, provides their material to an OEM that builds the car, and then a fleet like Hertz is using the car, there is an entire value chain here, and I'm like making it short. It's much more complicated, obviously. But when you see cross-vertical across the entire market for a long period of time, the partnerships with our partners are built on relationships, as I said before, and are long-term. Some partners are with us for 7-8 years.
Wow.
That gives you perspective, and it gives you the tools to work with startups in an ecosystem and to de-risk their growth. And this is like the key word here, because by definition, a startup is a risky business. And your goal as an entrepreneur, I think, like your immediate goal should be to de-risk, both for yourself and to increase your odds to raise funds. So we in Drive help startups de-risk their business, de-risk a risky business by working with the market, by sharing our accumulated knowledge through the cross-vertical observation of the market, and through funding, which is obviously a way to de-risk. But yeah. And as for your question, Kfir, about the pilots, so basically, we are not choosing for our partners. When I scout a startup and I think it might be valuable or useful for one of our partners, I basically act as the champion of the startup. And I kind of pitch them to the relevant partner. Yeah. I try to build a framework where I explain why is it valuable for the partner, what the startup is doing, obviously. I try to picture it as it is, which is not a static situation. The startup is evolving, so where it could go, and what benefit will have both the startup and the partner. And if they are hooked and they are interested and they see the value, so we are not doing the business for the startup. We are creating the right platform for them to interact. From there are many routes that can happen. It's not necessarily a POC. It can be an investment candidate. A lot of corporates, as you know, has CVCs, corporate venture capitals, that are strategic investors. So it could be that. It could be a POC towards commercialization, but that's a long journey. It's a long journey. My recommendation to a startup is never do a free POC, even if it's not expensive one. When you get something for free, there is zero commitment, and what is the purpose of the POC? You might say sell. Okay, obviously, partially true, but the sales cycle in heavy industries like ours is long.
It's years.
It can take years. And basically what you are trying to do in a POC is to build learning and trust around your solution. Because remember, the startups they're like mice around huge elephants. The corporates are not dumb. They've seen so many startups make promises and die.
Yeah.
They're not dumb. So your goal in a POC is, again, for them to de-risk, for you to learn a lot, and you need commitment for that. And obviously, when something is free, so you have zero commitment. So basically, we don't recommend startups to do POCs for free.
In your field?
I would say in any field, but that's too general of a statement, and obviously I'm not aware to any fields, and for sure there are fields which it makes sense to do that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So where do you see Drive in the future? Where do you see their position and where they're going, and where do you think they should go?
Obviously, my thoughts about where should we go are
on the table.
No, I mean, who am I to judge? I trust our leadership, and I think that they're doing a great job in that regard, and I can tell you where we are going. Drive is expanding to Europe right now, and the reason is about 20 years ago. Don't catch me on the right exact dates and moments.
On the point.
But yeah, but about 20 years ago, the economies of the US and Europe were equally large. Today, the US economy is, I don't know, roughly double than the European economy. And it goes back to the regulation part. But the market there is starting to wake up. And there is no inherent reason why if you think about it, it's not the character of a person. It's not their knowledge. The best knowledge in the world is at Europe. Obviously also in the US, but 20 years ago they were the same. Now it's double. So there is so much value to be captured there. The talent is incredible, and they are starting to awaken to the fact that innovation is crucial. Like, it's not an option. Definitely not in today's era where everything is disrupted
course,
on a daily basis. So innovation is crucial. They get it, and they are building towards that with huge infrastructure being built, a lot of talent over there, but they lack what we built here, which is how do you create a complete ecosystem that de-risks the startup's growth while also providing to the corporates the most important thing, which is how I, as a risk-averse elephant, how do I adopt innovation? Because I understand that if I won't adopt innovation, I will die as a corporate. The classic innovator's dilemma, right?
Yeah.
But how do I do that? It's so hard to know what should I do. And there is no framework, not good enough at least, we think, that give that to startups and to corporates in Europe. So we are expanding to Europe. We are opening another branch in Paris, which is a huge talent pool, as I said before, especially for AI. We will focus on AI, obviously, because as I said, it's not just about hype. It's a definitely whole new era, whole new infrastructure, whole new way to interact with the world. And it will only grow and change how any industry works. And specifically, because it's our expertise, we will focus on the intersection between AI and mobility and AI and energy, which is all very related. So that's our plans. And we will also, in the upcoming years, probably will have a growth fund to support our growing startups from our portfolio and other startups that are too big for our check size and fits our thesis and way of work.
So you're now raising your second fund.
No, so I want to clarify, I'm not directly apart from NGV, so I don't know their exact
Next Gear
plans.
Ventures for everyone that wants to look on their site, on their website.
Yeah, so currently NGV is at their second fund.
Oh, they're raising
They're
their
at
third.
NGV2 right now.
Okay.
And probably in the upcoming years, we will have a growth fund that support, listen, we have not a few, a handful of startups from our portfolio that are now huge growth companies that we cannot follow up on their rounds. They are huge, hundreds of millions. And there is a window of opportunity probably.
Could you give me an example of one?
With pleasure. Many, even.
Yeah. The biggest one that you have on your portfolio.
I don't know the numbers, who's the biggest one, but I will choose one which is
best known.
Yeah, so for example, we have UVI.
If you can explain a little bit
a
about
unicorn raised, I don't know the exact number, but well over $100 million, maybe even over 150. They started the Drive at, I think, 2017, something like that.
Wow.
They basically build kind of a gate or an arc that a vehicle is driving through this arc, and it scans the vehicle 360 degrees bottom up and sides to the nanometrics scale. Now, that is very impressive, but the really impressive piece here is that while you do that long enough, when you do that long enough, you basically create a digital record updated almost in real time, because if the vehicle is scanned in every trip it has before it leaves and when it comes back, so you basically can tell very precisely the evolvement of the vehicle over time, and from that you can derive an immense amount of value, whether it's the asset's worth, vehicle eventually is an asset, whether it's predictive maintenance, whether it's insurance insights, or you can take it to any place that your mind allows you to. An amazing company, works with huge names. Look it up. And also with some of our partners, recently announced also about their mutual work with Hertz, their global rental company.
Yeah, I saw that post.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Incredible.
Wow.
And that's just one example. Yeah.
It sounds good, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know them.
They're amazing company. You should look them up. I also saw
I will look.
if you want a job, they have a lot of available jobs here in
Positions.
Israel. So to wrap us up, to our listeners, if they're an entrepreneur in the mobility sector, what should they approach you? What makes they want? What do you want them to come up to you? Do you want them to cold call you, or do you want an intro? How do you best suggest to come to your profile and to come to DriveTLV?
So I can only testify about us. I don't know how it works in other places. I try to reply to any cold outreach that I get. Obviously, if someone is introducing you, it's always better because, like,
Of course.
I can learn about you quicker, and eventually my friend's friend is my friend. Yeah. So you can reach out either through our website, directly to our LinkedIn's. You can even come to like we have so many events, so you can just hop by, come to an event, have a coffee, and just chat. Really, it's super easy in Israel. Obviously, in Europe, it will require us to be there, and soon we will be. But the door is literally open. Like, you can just come.
Yeah.
Really easy to get to us.
So we put your LinkedIn, of course, at the bottom of the description, so everybody can come on to your LinkedIn, to Drive's LinkedIn, and of course message you if they want to meet, if they have something interesting, maybe they want to talk about, if it's something that is worth going into the mobility sector. So thank you. Do you want to take us out?
Yeah, but I have a last question.
Sure, no
we
problem.
need to do it
Shoot.
in the end of any episode. Where do you see yourself in the, let's say, in the 5 years from now?
Hopefully, I will have my own company. But even if I work with other founders that are doing something huge, it will be amazing as well. For sure, for me at least, the way to change the world is through technology. I'm a huge capitalist, and I believe that, like, private sector is doing the difference. And yeah, so if I'll have a great opportunity with others, I will join the ride. But my dream, so if not in 5 years, so in 8, but to start something of my own, and build in this world. I think that the most important thing is to build.
Yeah, so I think we learned today a lot. We have a lot of key points and a lot of things that I think if you're wondering of dreaming to create something or to build something on your own, or even just to understand things from the market. So it's a great opportunity to have this episode and to listen. So you are invited to subscribe us, and you will have all the details of Alon. And we want to thank you
Thank
for
you,
your
guys.
time.
You were awesome.
For your
and
knowledge.
I love your podcast. I listen.
Yeah. Everybody's listening to our podcast. You can check out all the other episodes in the description as well.
It's a commitment.
It's a commitment, yeah.
When you're invited to be the part, you need to be committed for
You
the
need
next
to-
episode.
Exactly. Nothing is free.
We're asking money under the table, don't worry.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much.
So thank you for listening to VC What the Fucks and Laws on Audio Versity, and see you in the next episode, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.